Welcome to the New Year's Eve preparation edition of Orlando Out of Context. I'm Brian.
I'm Stephanie.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about New Year's Eve, things to kind of be aware of. A lot of the stuff that we mentioned in last year's episode is
episode 26.
Episode 26.
If you want to go back and check that out, because a lot of it's still relevant.
Right.
We just don't want to be redundant, so we thought we would switch it up a little bit.
And you should go back and listen to all the episodes. But if you want to, get filled in on some of the things, we are going to talk about one of the things that we mentioned last year, but it's a different theme this year.
Yeah.
So we'll mention that in a bit. We'll talk about some of our favorite episodes of this year. We're going to talk about what we're looking forward to in the year to come in 2020 as we enter into a new decade. So this is really just kind of to get you excited for the new decade and help us ring in the new year. So what do you have for us in terms of events, Stephanie, that are happening?
Something that caught my fancy while scrolling through Instagram was the Orlando Museum of Art is having the Roaring Twenties, a fashionable affair. And I am a sucker for anything with a theme.
Well, this is great because we're coming into the 20s. So this is kind of cool. We're coming
it falls in line.
It falls in line.
Our number.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I'm kind of excited to enter into the 20s. I like the aesthetic.
It's something about, I don't know, the flapper dresses, the feathers, the nice tuxes that men wear, those really beautifully crafted drinks.
The Art Deco
in a dark
styling.
room with Art Deco style.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
it's just
I love the 20s, and so it's fun that we're entering into our own 20s.
I didn't think about that. Yeah. You just said that.
Yeah, I've thought about that. So it's a great time to, hopefully there's going to be lots of parties during the year 2020 that just highlight the 1920s. Yeah. Because it's such an iconic decade, I think, for the for this last century, for the last century. And so I think this is exciting that we're going into our own version of the 20s because we didn't live in the 20s. Sometimes it feels like we lived in the 20s, but we didn't.
In our hearts, we lived in the 20s. In our soul,
we feel that old.
Probably we were on the Titanic in 1921.
That was in the 10s.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that was 1912.
I think it was. Yeah,
it was 1912 that the Titanic crashed.
Anyway, so that's cool, and that's a great place to have a themed party.
I feel like it's a nice, classy joint. So, the environment is just setting the scene.
It elevates
a very classy
elevated party. Yeah, but I really like.
I mean, you were just recently there for that Yelp event.
Well, that was at the
was
Science.
That somewhere different?
That was the Science
that
Museum.
Was Science.
But I was just gonna say the Science Museum and their balcony at the Science Museum is awesome because it's substantial in size and it overlooks downtown, so you can see downtown.
Wow, that would be pretty if the fireworks were going off.
Yeah, and then you get everyone else's fireworks. You can see everyone else's fireworks. I don't know. You should look up right now and see if the Science Center does anything. But yeah, that sounds like it would be a fun party. Sometime we should go to that.
You know what else would be nice? To go to the new tower at. I don't know. Security might be tight at Disney, but if you go up to the Dahlia Lounge, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Dahlia Lounge.
That is a beautiful view of property.
I wonder if Disney is doing any kind of special parties there at the Coronado Springs Resort now that they have that tower. Because the Contemporary does their own events. So I'm wondering if the Coronado Springs Resort will do their own events up there in the tower, in the what is it, Destino Tower? The
Destino Tower, yeah. And I believe it looks like when I'm looking at the other new resort, I don't know why it's slipping my mind.
Riviera.
Yes, the Riviera also has a rooftop restaurant.
Yes, they do.
So you might want to check that out as well. I'm not seeing anything on the Orlando Science Instagram, but you never know. Keep an eye on it. It's still early, but I guess not so. No, we should be planning for
these. It's not really early.
These things at this point, yeah.
It's like
I guess
in less than 30 days.
Why does it feel like everything's so rushed?
Because this year Thanksgiving happened so late on the 28th of November, so we get a very short holiday season.
I went into Walmart and they have a big sign that says X amount of days till Christmas, and I was like, "Holy crap! I get these gifts in the mail. I gotta get cookies made. I gotta experience things before it's over."
Because normally we have like a good full 5 weeks between Christmas and New Year and Thanksgiving and Christmas. But this year and it's the same thing next year too, because Thanksgiving is on the 26th, which is the last full week of November, so we experience the same thing next year.
I just feel like I'm running out of time to do all the holiday things.
Right.
I'm so excited though. Next week I'm going to Atlanta to see Hanson for their Wintry Mix tour, which is Christmas songs.
It's sad that they don't come down south.
It is sad. Hanson, Christ.
They could at least go.
They think just because they come to Epcot, they don't have to do concerts here anymore.
They never go to Miami, do they? They probably don't have the fan base.
They haven't been to They went to Miami a long time ago. So they've been doing Epcot Food and Wine for 10 years now. And in those 10 years, they have stopped doing any other tour stops here.
They just say this covers our Florida dates for us.
These freaking...
But you know what? In terms of Hanson fan, you're lucky because they don't go like Washington State. Can you imagine? Or Wyoming.
There's a lot of places they don't go.
They're not going to those places every year, So they come here every year, whether they're on tour or not.
So I'm going to be traveling up to Atlanta for that, and I'm super pumped. Their brothers band, Joshua and the Holy Rollers, they're going to be there. Really excited about that. Excited to get some real... Probably cold weather in Atlanta, I would assume, because Atlanta gets a little bit colder than it does here.
It's going to be colder than here. Yeah, that'll be fun, and that's just by the time this airs, you'll have already gone. So I hope you had a great time.
Well, I already know I'll have had a great time.
Where are you staying?
A Fairfield Inn.
You getting your Marriott points?
Yeah, I went to join the Bonvoy.
The Bonvoy?
And I already had an account, and I never knew about it.
There you go.
Must have been when I went.
Do you have any points?
No, I don't have any points.
Okay. I'm working on my Bonvoy points. I'm doing my best.
Well, you hit the road running with travel this year.
This is the pro tip that all you youngsters out there who are twiddling your thumbs.
Be brand loyal.
Be brand loyal to a hotel and start getting your points now, because if you start getting your points now, they're going to accrue and they're going to build up, and you're going to be able to, when you hit your 30s, like if we would have been collecting points, we would have gotten something.
But the problem was when we were young, we didn't have the money to stay at these nice places.
You don't have to stay at a nice place. You can stay at a Fairfield or a cheap and still get points. That's what
work
I'm saying.
You towards a status
Correct.
level.
So you get those points, Cheryl.
You youngsters twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, just think about it.
Because we did a lot of travel in our 20s. We were staying in hotels together and going places and splitting up the cost.
It's not like we didn't. Yeah. It's not like I didn't travel. The thing that I think about too is Disney's. Staying at a Disney hotel is a real shit show because you don't get any loyalty points for staying at a Disney hotel.
You don't get any loyalty. Sue Ellen will tell you. Sue Ellen's always bitching that she don't get a red carpet rolled out for her when she comes to the Port Orleans. She thinks that when she checks in,
they should know
her name little elf pops up. Woohoo! Your 50th visit.
Yeah, that's really. I don't. That's something
she gets pissed about that.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they don't have some kind of
they do it on the cruise line, and the guests on the cruise line really love it because they give you a lanyard and it gives you gold, silver, platinum status. It basically lets you shit on bitches like, bitch, I've been on this ship 20 times, 40 times, 50 times.
And you get a certain level, like if you're the highest level, then you get to be the first to board the ship, that type of things. You don't necessarily get like free stuff. You don't get free stuff, but there's stuff built into the different levels that give you stuff, and I think that that's what they should do with Walt Disney World.
And in this day and age, people thrive on things like that. Not necessarily like a lot of discounts and stuff, but they thrive on just getting the new lanyard or like a freaking magnet for your car or anything like that. People thrive on that.
Yeah.
And that's an easy way to get more business.
Yeah, I don't understand why there's no. So that's why I say, like, look, if you're looking to come to Walt Disney World, stay at a freaking Marriott hotel, and there's 2 Marriott hotels right on property, and that's the Swan and Dolphin, and they're literally on property, and it's
I
Marriott.
bet they have shuttles that take you to the park.
They do. It's a full Disney thing, and they have.
I think they're called Good Neighbor hotels too. Some
those,
of them they have partners.
They're
Good
so
Neighbor hotels.
they're so embedded that the Swan and Dolphin is so embedded that they're basically Disney hotels. Did you know that the artwork of the little swan and dolphin that belongs to Disney?
No.
Yeah,
like
because
the physical structure of
not
it?
the structure, but in the logos, the swan and the dolphin, those are Disney. And so I'm guessing Imagineering developed them because you can see the copyright Disney, and which I realized that in the last year or so. But
you can walk to Epcot. You can get on the boat to Studios. You can take the Skyliner. Yeah, which are a lot of the amenities.
They're ugly on the
higher
outside.
End.
They're ugly on the outside, but they have the amenities of a higher end hotel. And they've been remodeling them, and the inside of the Swan and Dolphin's really great. So anyway, that's a weird rant to be on.
Yeah.
The whole Marriott rewards
pro tip.
Yeah. Pro tip. Anyone who is not doing a rewards program, even if you have 2 or 3 rewards programs open, at least get the rewards. All right, that's enough of that. What else? What are we going to talk about next?
We can talk about our favorite episodes.
Oh, favorite episodes.
Or if you want to talk about what your plans for the New Year are. I mean, I really have none, but
I don't have any.
I'm not a fan of New Year's at all.
I don't have any. Shalom's going to be here, so I don't know what we're going to do. I know for Christmas Eve, I do have a reservation at the Riviera restaurant. So for Christmas Eve, I have that, and then Christmas morning, we are going to New Orleans. But for New Year's Eve, I don't really have any plans. I have a reservation at Kona that I booked because I thought Alini and Junior might come. So I booked it for 6 of us so that we could just go if we wanted to. At the Polynesian. Yeah. But after my experience, I ate Kona about 2 months ago, and it was a horrible experience. I don't know if I even want to waste my money.
I ate there once, and it was unmemorable. So unmemorable, I didn't even remember when you said Kona.
I just got it so that would be a place that if there was a big group of us all together, we would have it just in case we needed something. But I'm probably going to let it go.
Yeah.
That reservation go, because I don't really want to eat it.
Maybe you should sell it.
I should sell it.
On the Instagram.
Does anyone want to buy a Kona?
We could do a giveaway.
It's for 6 people.
That's hard to get.
I did it almost as soon as the 6-month mark, maybe shortly after the 6-month mark, because Alini at the time had been saying, "Oh, I want to come maybe for New Year's," and I was like, "Well, let me plan just in case." So that was a just in case, but I don't think I want to go there, especially after that horrible experience I had. If it was Ohana's, I would be there. I'd be ready. Oh man,
I'm kind of scarred from being anywhere on Disney property, or even within a 20-foot radius of the Disney property anytime on New Year's Eve.
The key is, because we were there last year, we went to, I don't know if we talked about this on the New Year's episode last year because it aired before New Year's, but what we did is we had a reservation at the Wave, and maybe I talked about it in an episode
I think
previously.
You talked about your plans, but you never talked about how they were executed.
Okay, so we had dinner at the Wave, and then we had about 2 hours to kill, which not the best. The later the dinner reservation, the better, to get as close to the fireworks as possible. So when it was time for fireworks, we went out to the front, where the Christmas tree is at the Contemporary? Mm-hmm. We went out there to watch the fireworks, because it's a great shot, because those fireworks are happening 360 around the Magic Kingdom, so they're shot off also from Seven Seas Lagoon. So
having the reservation secures your parking.
Yes, exactly. So that's a pro tip as well. So even if you don't want to go to the restaurant, get a reservation.
But if you don't show up for your reservation,
but who cares? It doesn't matter.
Take money off your credit card.
Who cares? It's $10 per person.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's $10 per person if you don't show up for a reservation.
Oh, that's the cost of
parking.
Parking anyhow.
Hello?
If you would get a valet.
Right. So, pro tip, just get a res for one person and say, "Here, I have a res going in." Yeah. But
Party on.
It'll get you in so you can get parked. So we watched the fireworks, and I told Shalom, I was like, "Listen, as soon as these fireworks are over with,
get the fuck out of here.
We are making a mad dash for the car." And he's game. He don't play games either.
You just strap him in the baby born and start running.
So as soon as that last firework, because I know the fireworks show by heart, as soon as the last fireworks show pops off, or firework pops off, I'm like, we're going. Bye. And so we got to the car before anyone else got in that car, and we went the back roads.
Head for the hills.
We went the back roads home through like New Orleans, or the French Quarter resort area by Golden Oak, and that was it.
Knowing those back roads helps a lot.
Yeah. So if you know the back roads. So for me, for New Year's, it's just a matter of like, even if you're gonna watch the Polynesian, you're gonna somehow sneak onto the Polynesian property, and you're gonna go there. You just got to be, as soon as that last firework goes off, you got to be mad dash to your car, and that's it. You won't have any problem. You just can't be with slow people.
That's right.
So yeah, that's the pro tips for Disney. Another pro tip for Disney is it used to be able to, if you wanted to go, if you couldn't get into Boardwalk and to the Yacht Beach Club parking, then you park at the mini golf and walk over.
Oh yeah, there's not many spots there though.
Well, they've been doing construction over there.
Yeah.
On that spot, or on that.
I
that
haven't
property.
been in probably a year.
Disney will never ever sponsor us now because we're giving away all of our.
That's all right. They sent us a really rude letter, so not that we ever thought they would anyway. But God, I love that company. Oh my God, I watched this new documentary on Disney Plus. One day at Disney, I was bawling like a fucking baby.
What's the first episode? I saw a rhino.
Oh my God! So they seamlessly like quilt together, like, and they kind of like put the spotlight on different roles all throughout the park.
Mm-hmm. And this is on Disney Plus.
Through they show Robin Robbins at ABC,
mm-hmm.
and they
Robin
show
Roberts?
an animator in Burbank.
They
the second cast member was a steam train engineer in Disneyland. I was like, oh my God, my people!
So if you would have stayed, you might have had the opportunity to be on that show.
I would have died to be on that show. But it was like I was just crying because he was like, they kind of like talk about their job and how like they love it, like how they thought about those things since they were a kid and how proud they are of their jobs. They showed him like starting up the train in the morning, like all the mm-hmm. things that I used to do when I worked there, like firing up the engine, greasing it, like polishing the wheels and cleaning it, and just having such pride in your job. And oh my God, I just like, working at Disney, I've never been so proud to work for any other company. Like, I just love them so much. And you gotta watch this freaking documentary. They have it listed as a documentary, but I'm hoping there's going to be multiple episodes.
Right.
Because they could cover so many more cast members that have interesting positions across
How
the
long
company.
was it?
It was about 45 minutes or an hour.
Yeah, that seems like it could be a
but you got to watch
multi
that.
shows. Okay, I'll definitely. I saw it pop up.
Oh,
I need to watch
it's so cute. They talk to people who are like the doctors of the animals over it.
That's why
Animal
it showed
Kingdom,
the rhino.
Like show them like how they care for the animals and stuff like that.
That's why I saw the picture of the rhino.
They talked to this woman that was in Lion King on Broadway in like Italy or like some other country. I don't remember what country it was. Just basically cast members all over the world and the roles that they play every single day to make the magic happen.
Thanks for the commercial.
So beautiful. Disney Plus just has me crying a river this month.
Yeah, I'm excited for more and more to come on to Disney Plus. I've been enjoying it.
Did you watch Noelle yet?
I haven't. I was waiting for Shalom to come.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to not. I have so much to consume because I have Netflix shows too. Really, I have shows everywhere.
Just quit our jobs and watch Netflix.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
But anyway, let's get into our favorite episodes of 2019. We had so many. Basically, I'm the one who usually like courts our guests, like finds these people that are interesting and like goes after them. Mm-hmm. And we had a lot of good ones. I couldn't really. I don't want to like single people out, but. Who comes to your what episodes come to your mind when you think about our favorite ones? Most of my favorite ones are ones where we have guests because I get to talk to people.
I agree
and learn new things. and get other people's perspectives.
I think my favorite was Alex and Joey.
I knew you were going to say that.
And I think that's
on my list too.
That's one of your favorites as well.
Yeah.
I think that was a really nice interview to talk about Orlando history in terms of foodie history of Orlando with Yum Yum, and talking about people who really were at the start of the renaissance of
people who truly have a love for Orlando and know like Orlando over the years.
They were at the start of the renaissance of the kind of whole foodie experience in Orlando with, food trucks and even beyond food trucks. I mean, that is the time when it was really starting to bubble up and really starting to blossom. So it's people like Alex and Joey who drive Orlando culture, and so it's really great to have the opportunity and to live the experience. I'm glad that we had the interview with them before Hungry Pants, and to kind of live the experience of seeing it. Even though we didn't see it from concept, we saw, over, 6 weeks of them, the direct 6 weeks leading up basically to the opening. So
and now it's been open for over a little month, little over a month, and I can't really say how proud I am to see.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, God, they have so much support from people all over Orlando. Like a lot of it's just so nice to see people come together and lift others up
and
to support their
internationally too. So Joey was telling me something about someone from India who was going to come and visit, and told them they were going to come and visit. And I think that this person listened to our podcast.
Oh, good.
I don't know if I told you that.
I think you did tell me that.
But it's
a while ago.
It's kind of nice, that it's not just people in Orlando. It's nationwide. It's global. It's people are getting plant curious. So that's one of my favorite episodes for sure.
I really liked, and that was episode 49 of Hunger Pants.
Oh, I'm so glad you have that.
I really liked episode 38, which was Pro Tips for Simplifying Orlando.
That's one of our top listened to episodes.
I think
we're going to have to do a part 2.
Really filled with a lot of knowledgeable things, good points. And this definitely, as we go doing this podcast and always talking about pro tips, or navigating Orlando is really a skill, and it makes the difference between a good experience and a bad one.
Whether you live here or you visit.
So the longer you live here, the more things you can figure out how to get around here to kind of like make your life better. Mm-hmm. So I really liked that episode. That was just you and I. And
life is getting better and better with technology in terms of cutting the need to go certain places. We can have things delivered here right to our door, and so that's making life. It makes it seem like, for me, we're living in a real big city. Because when I lived in Brazil and Sao Paulo for a year, I could have everything delivered to my door.
Really?
Yeah. Food, groceries.
Well, did everything. It cost more? Did it come at a cost? Or
I mean, I think it was. Of course, everything comes at a cost.
When I think about food delivery, I just think about people that are extremely spoiled.
Well, yeah. Pretty much.
When I was watching 90 Day Fiancé, these couple, they were in I want to say they were in Africa somewhere, and part of him proposing to the woman was that he went to the store and bought all this stuff for her family, huge bag of rice and big things of water and stuff, and he had to freaking strap it onto this bicycle. This guy he strapped it onto a bicycle and then rode on the front to get all this stuff to her family from the store through the village to her family's house. And I was like, Jesus. It was like a 10-pound bag of rice that he had to slosh across the back wheel of the bike.
What made you think of this?
I don't know. Just thinking about food delivery and weird places. I don't know.
Well, I lived in Sao Paulo, so it was
I guess that's a big
it's
city.
Basically New York City on steroids. So just that Orlando has all these things to make life easier for us. Postmates, Uber Eats, Amazon Prime now. All this stuff is making it easier to live in Orlando. However you look at being green, I know some people say it's not green to have all this stuff delivered or the boxes. You can adjust it how you see fit in order to, fit your lifestyle. But it's nice to have the ability to have all this stuff delivered, because places like, Oklahoma, City, like where my parents are, they don't get like Prime Now.
Yeah.
So, but for a growing city, it helps us with the growing pains, because there are growing pains here. And so having that delivery and that stuff, I hate to go on a rant, but having all that stuff here helps us with the growing pains that we're experiencing. So,
for sure.
I like that episode too. And like I said, it's one of our top listened to episodes, which is interesting.
So maybe we can do a part 2.
Yeah, we should do a part 2, a series.
If somebody wanted to maybe call into this line that we created, and
they could call.
Maybe just drop some tips,
some of their own pro
questions,
tips.
or
feel free
if you feel compelled.
What other episodes?
I obviously was a big fan of episode 48, Sex and Body Positivity with Debbie Lee.
Yes, and we've hung out with Debbie Lee.
I love Debbie Lee. She's become a good friend of ours.
We've hung out with Debbie Lee, and she texted me the other day because she was watching something about RuPaul. So she said, I was thinking about you. And we actually did 2 episodes with Debbie Lee. We did the Halloween episode too. So that's nice that we've
I love when I meet people and we can create a deeper relationship, for sure, because that was one of the objectives for the podcast. At least it was for me, to meet people and hopefully make connections with them.
Yeah, Debbie Lee's episode was good. I liked that episode.
I enjoyed sitting down with Rosie for her
episode.
And
I love Rosie. She's a sweetheart. She's going to buy my desk.
Really? She wants that desk?
Yeah. Well,
nice desk.
This episode's going to air after she hopefully does buy it, but hopefully she does.
I love talking to Adam from...
Yes. What are you going to do? Name all the episodes?
Well, I can say whatever I want to say. If they were my favorite, they were my favorite.
What episode number was Adam?
I don't remember. I'm just, I wrote 3 down here, but you picked one of mine, so.
Okay.
Well, we had Adam from Dating Kind of Sucks. They have their podcast. Here in Orlando, they're kind of split. His co-host is, I can't remember where she lives, but. Oh, they're
Nashville.
coming for
she lives in Nashville.
They're coming. They're having a meet and greet here. They have it's to be announced. I think it's December 20th, but if you want to check their Instagram, they're going to post a location. They haven't chosen a location yet, but they're having a Dating Kind of Sucks meetup. And I don't know, if I don't have to work, I might head over there to try to meet Sarah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
And then maybe you might meet somebody to date.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, we had lots of good episodes. We are on what episode are we on right now?
Guess I should have wrote that down too.
I forget what this New Year's Eve episode is going to be, but we're almost to 60. We're not quite to 60 yet, but we're almost to 60.
Rosie's episode was 56, and that was 2 weeks ago. We haven't had one in the last 2 weeks. Well, when this comes out.
56, 57, 58.
So this will be 58.
This is 58, maybe 59 if we do another one.
Yeah.
Maybe. So we're almost to 60.
So what are you looking forward to in 2020 for Orlando?
Well, I don't know what any of the opening dates are on these. There's a few, I think, food hall projects that are coming up. I think towards like downtown and stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing some of that come into fruition, if it even does. I don't know, because I didn't do any research, but I'm looking forward to some of that coming in, even though I think it's a little late now. Like, hello, the food hall trend has been happening, and where are all of our food halls? So I would like to see something. You know what I want to see in Orlando? This is not coming in 2020 necessarily, but there's a place called Time Out Lisbon or Lisboa, which is it's a food hall, and it's so huge and so big, and I want something like that to be here in Orlando.
Where did you see this?
In Lisbon.
Okay.
When I went to Lisbon last year. Yeah, it's just amazing. It's just I want something like that to come to Orlando, so we can have more of these more places for creatives in the culinary world to come in and set up shop. They don't have to do a whole full restaurant, but that they can come in and set up shop in a place. I think that would be great.
Imagine what kind of platform that would give you. Think about, how we talked about with Joey and Alex, the difficulties they had in finding a location.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if you were to jumpstart your culinary business by renting out a small spot where you could kind of get your product out there, get the word out, get everyone like buzzing about it. And you know, I think that'd be kind of awesome.
The other thing that funny, I saw this somewhere, was a petition to get an Eataly here in Orlando, and you haven't been to an Eataly yet. So Eataly is like kind of like a food hall too concept a little bit.
I mean, are these chains like
Eataly is a chain.
Like a Walmart of a food hall? Or
Time Out Lisbon is a magazine, and somehow they're branded in with this food hall, and it's their food hall. But like Eataly is like this Italian, I would say like what I want to say, department store.
Oh, okay.
So there's like a restaurant. It's all owned by the same people. It's a restaurant for seafood, Italian seafood. It's a restaurant for pizza. It's a restaurant for like a steakhouse, Italian steakhouse. And then there's a meat counter and a seafood counter and a cheese counter and a gelato and a Nutella counter. And it's all these counters and different things all in one place, and it's called Eataly. They have one in New York. They have one in Sao Paulo. Vegas just got one. And so I saw a petition online somewhere for Orlando to get one, and I think I signed it.
He doesn't even know. He's just signing shit.
I think that we should definitely. I would love in 2020 to get an announcement that Eataly is coming to Orlando.
I don't feel like this is the right market for that.
I feel like if it could be somewhere between the tourists and, somewhere between downtown and the attractions. Somewhere like maybe in Soto somewhere that where the tourists could get there if they wanted to, but there's enough locals to like support it as well, like, and to shop the grocery store portion of it. But it's in Vegas, it's on the Strip.
Really?
Yeah, it's on the Strip.
Where is it?
It's on it's at the park. It's the new it used to be I think it used to be the Monte Carlo, and they turned it into the Park MGM, and Eataly is literally on the Strip. So it's interesting that it's there. So if it can survive there, maybe it could survive iDrive.
Yeah. That wouldn't be a bad spot.
So I would love to see something like that, just to get more options for the stuff.
All the things.
What else do I want?
I'm excited for Target.
Yes.
Near my house.
That is definitely
that really makes me happy.
Target, it seems, I don't know if that building they're building right now is going to be the Target, but we might not be having like a huge Target. It might be a micro Target,
which would really piss me off.
But it's a Target. The Cheesecake Factory, I drove by there last weekend.
They put that up in like a freaking day.
I know, that Cheesecake Factory. I hope that structure is okay, because
that might not withstand the next hurricane.
Might come crashing down how fast they put it up. But it was supposed to open I thought it was opening New Year's Black Friday weekend, but I think it opened sometime this past week, the first week of December. But I think it's open right now.
Oh.
And
we should
then
go over there and check it out and have a slice.
We're getting the Alamo. A slice of what? Oh, cheesecake. Oh. I was thinking pizza. For some reason.
Man, I'm so mad.
What?
I was working near where I thought used to be a Jet's Pizza today. I got so freaking hype. I hyped up all the people at work and my everyone. There? I call, and it's like a dirt. So I look it up, and then on Yelp is saying it's closed.
So was that the only Jets location?
Not the only one, but...
Is that the one that you could go to the most?
It's the one, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so basically that pizza episode, scratch that out.
No, there's still one left in Publix Hunt Club, little strip mall over there. But I was just...
Well, that's pissed. That's a bummer.
Because I was had such a hard on for pizza. Like I could just was salivating.
And your poor coworkers, you took them along for the ride.
They were hype. One of them I've already converted to Jet's Pizza. The other one,
she didn't even try it yet.
It was going to be her Jet's first time.
Oh, gotcha.
It was in Popper Jet's Cherry. My other coworker, we had it together a couple months ago, And we were both hype.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I hyped up all the people that, came to me that day from that office.
I'm sorry. So I'm excited for the Alamo too. That's opening. The Alamo Draft House, which is in the movie theater.
Is that going to be this year?
I think
2020?
I think it's 2020. I'm pretty sure it's 2020. And O-Town West, I'm excited for. That's coming supposedly in 2020. Though, if it's coming in 2020, they better just break ground.
No.
They better hurry up.
Them even clear
there's that Chicago hot dog place that's coming. We're getting a White Castle.
Oh.
We're getting a lot of things.
Oh, we need to go to the Domu.
A lot of Midwestern stuff, eh?
The Domu, eh?
Yeah. We need to go to Domu. So pro tip. While I'm talking about movie theaters, because I mentioned Alamo Draft House. First of all, Alamo Draft House kicks you out of the theater if you are talking or on your cell phone.
I hope that goes for children as well.
I hope so too. So that's awesome that they do that. The other pro tip that I have to say is I've started going back to Disney Springs AMC.
This is a pro tip.
They have stepped up their game at the AMC Disney Springs. I used to avoid that place. They've renovated their dine-in side. For their dine-in side, if you go for a matinee, those tickets are cheap.
$5 you said, right?
Even for dine-in. Like they're $5 or $7.
And the chairs are nice.
The chairs are nice.
The recliner.
They have love seats.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so
are they all love seats or just
the 2x2? So yeah, they're all love seats basically. So
and they have a heater function. You can put the heat on your back.
Yeah.
If you're having a granny day.
They have raised their game. Now I don't think they've raised their game with the food, but
no.
You don't have to go eat. You don't have to eat anything. You just But pro tip there.
So what are some of your personal goals for the new year ahead?
Personal goals. I haven't really thought about it.
No?
No.
You haven't made your mental vision board yet?
I haven't made a mental vision board. Of course, I'm going to travel more. I would like to see more countries this year or next year, because this year I didn't see any new countries. I went to Brazil, but I've been there before, so I'd like to see some new countries.
That wedding?
That was That was 2018.
Really, that far now?
Yeah, but it was at the end of. So I would like to see some new countries. I want to continue bringing great content to everyone. That's a goal. Yeah, I want to continue talking to people in Orlando and getting to know Orlando better. That's for sure. But those would be some of them. I haven't really thought really hard about, okay, this is what I'm going for this year. But those are two kind of right off the top of my head. What about you?
Well, I haven't thought too much about it, but really my main goal this year is to try to get my health in order. I have had a really terrible 2019, and top to bottom, my health has been garbage. Mm-hmm. And I have found out the hard way that you can't really trust doctors. Their knowledge is very, very limited, and they don't really care to help you. So you have to do a lot of research on your own time, and you have to advocate for your health, and only you know your body best. So I got to figure out what to do to get my shit in order and get back to being the person that I once was, because I can't stand it anymore. So that's pretty much my main goal this year.
Well,
I don't have any goals of dating or finding a husband this year. I don't want to be bothered with men. I got to do shit for myself. I got to take care of myself, and I want to go to Disneyland.
Well, that's
about it.
I mean, those are good goals. What most especially, taking care of yourself. I think that's important, and that is, the key to a lot of things, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it's. I think it's been. I know you said you've had some challenges, but overall, I think it's been a good year, especially for the podcast. We continue to grow, and we thank everyone for listening in and tuning in each week. We see you out there. We're growing slowly, and that's great. Slow growth is great, and we're excited to bring you more.
We have some guests on our hit list that are going to be after the holidays pass and the craziness And everyone's schedule opens up a little bit. We have some people in mind that hopefully we're going to get in here.
Yeah, and if you have any recommendations of people you'd like to hear us talk to here on Orlando Out of Context, shoot us a message. So remember to call into our voicemail line. That number is 407-603 6994, and that's going to, when you dial that number, it's just going to take you to voicemail. You just leave your name so we can address you, and leave a voicemail, maybe a pro tip in Orlando, something that you see in Orlando that you like, maybe something that you don't like that you want us to react to. But feel free, give us a call, and we'll play it on air and respond to it on air. So thank you guys so much. I hope that everyone has a great and safe new year, and we will see you.
Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive, and we'll see you in the new year.
Bye.
Follow us on Instagram at Orlando Out of Context. Instagram is where you can connect and interact with us, as well as see photos and videos related to this week's episode.
Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and iHeartRadio.